But Rachel Corrie, most of you know Rachel Corrie, who was killed in Israel trying to protect a doctor's home from being bulldozed 21 years ago or something like that. And this is a song written by Jim Page, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago.
From Led Zeppelin.
Not from Led Zeppelin.
A different Jim Page.
And these words are all Rachel Corrie's words. These are words that she wrote home to her parents and friends and kept in her diary. So every word you hear here is, thank you, and thank you for this church. We look, thank you. Anytime, yes. God bless you. We've been enjoying ourselves while you were gone.
I'd love to take a photo. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
If you can.
Wave.
You know I was always the one. I could never stand idly by and watch while the bullies beat up on the other ones. I had to do something to try. And I never gave up on people, that we could be better somehow. Morality's compass, you gave it to me, I still follow it now. Well, I couldn't stop thinking about it, I couldn't get it out of my mind. The pictures, the stories, the plight of the people in occupied Palestine. How my government makes me complicit with the political aid that they send. So I packed my bags and I headed to Rafah to work with the ISM. And I'd rather be dancing and falling in love. But if I just sit back and watch from a distance, then what am I made of? Mama, these people are so good to me. They treat me like one of their own. They feed me and see to my needs, and let me sleep in their homes. Papa, their lives are so hard. The gunshots every night. The road blocks the streets, search the humiliations. Papa, it just isn't right. I can feel my white privilege around me. It's there in my American face. I can wave my passport around like a flag and be safe in this place. For these child soldiers of Israel, they look like the boys back home. And if it wasn't for American money, they'd have to leave these people alone. And I'd rather be dancing to Pat Benatar. But somebody has to do something. And here we are. The tractors are coming today. They're like tanks with bulldozer blades. The name on the side says Caterpillar. That means they're American made. Well, I am an American too. And I'll be where everybody can see. So if they're gonna run over these houses today, they're gonna have to run over me. It's dangerous taking a stand, but it's dangerous running away. Sometimes you have to face up to the danger. There's just no other way. But there are such beautiful dreams. I've seen the eyes of a child. And if I can make just one little difference, I think my life is worthwhile. I'd rather be dancing, but instead I'm saying goodbye. We'll meet again when it's over. Don't cry, don't cry. I'd rather be dancing, and surely we'd all rather be. And one day we'll dance in a world that's peaceful and free. I'd rather be dancing, dancing and falling in love. And one day we'll dance in a world that's peaceful and free. Peaceful and free. I'd rather be dancing, and surely we'd all rather be. And one day we'll dance in a world that's peaceful and free.
I'm probably the least likely person here to talk about what you all are doing because my wife and I, Rebecca, we have a podcast called Bar Crawl Radio, which doesn't sound like peace at all, but mainly we talk to people who are doing good work for their neighborhoods and good work for their communities, and we talk to them at bars because we like beer. A lot of our friends like beer too, and we talk about the good work that they're doing. So we're Bar Crawl Radio, and we'd appreciate it if you'd kind of sign up and take a listen. We've talked to some amazing people, including Anthony and Mary, and we've been talking to great people today, James and Rick, Eric. We've talked to Plowshares, we've talked to Winters Against Torture. We were just out in the desert, in Nevada desert, talking to people walking 60 miles to the Nevada nuclear test site in the desert. It's been a privilege for us to be with you and to feel that you respect us enough to talk to us about your experiences. And if anyone else wants to say something about today's walk, my battery is at like 1, so I get one more talk, and if anyone wants to talk, all right. Yeah, I mean, if I had anything I wanted to say, it would be talking to power, as Tarek said, I would think it would be, is not going to get anything done. Power is there to be powerful, and they're always going to want to be powerful. We don't talk to politicians. I find them very boring. They have really nothing to say to me. It all starts with us. And as long as we keep walking, or you all keep walking, keep talking, and we'll keep getting the word out to whoever wants to listen. And again, thank you for allowing us in to your wonderful community. Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to say one thing. I was thinking, I was thinking about what kind of a miracle would it take to turn things around, to maybe save us all from where it looks like we're heading. And it came to me that, Tarak, the miracle is right in front of you. And I realized that the miracle was the people, I'm serious, that we are meeting along the way, and you all. And the miracle that can possibly, the only miracle that can save us is a fully awakened public. So we don't have a lot of time to do that. So that's one of the reasons, maybe the prime reason why we're out walking on the road and why we all do what we do. Hopefully to awake the public, and they are out there and they are awakening. So that was a miracle in process that I saw, and I wanted to convey that. You're part of that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
My name's Rosemary Pace, and I'm from Pax Christi. Like Mary, Mary is representative for Pax Christi International. I'm Pax Christi New York State. I was director of Metro New York. I could talk about Pax Christi, but I have to say that song from Rachel Corey's words just put me over the edge. That was amazing and prophetic. Oh my God. But what it reminded me of, and what I was thinking of for a few things, I was in the Holy Land with Pax Christi in 2015. We were celebrating Pax Christi International's 70th anniversary at that point, I think it was. 70th anniversary. And one thing that struck me in the song was how good the Palestinian people are, because we were basically in Palestine. We visited Israel, did a few of the kind of touristy type things, pilgrimage type things, but we stayed in Bethlehem and met with the Living Stones, which is what they're called. The trip was a trip to meet the Living Stones. And the people are just so extraordinarily gracious and hospitable, and that's known for their culture. And I think it's why so many of us are so passionate about wanting a ceasefire. We also met some wonderful Israeli people, Combatants for Peace, Parent Circle, the Israeli campaign for against home demolitions, Rabbis for Peace, for Human Rights, I guess it is. So there are wonderful people, but they're not the people we get to hear about. Just like, frankly, people aren't hearing about us. Is this peace walk in the news? Another thing I was thinking of, which wasn't specifically with Pax Christi, it was actually with Marino. Last year I went to the border in El Paso and Juarez. And again, we have such a political and commercial media coverage of these horrible people who are just walking across the border and taking over our country and stealing our jobs and all this garbage, cleaning my language. And one of the things we learned, because we met with so many lawyers who are dealing with that, is how damn difficult it is for people to get into this country and stay in this country. They're certainly not just walking across the border, and they're not walking across the border, as I'm sure all of you know, for no good reason. Again, beautiful people. We helped out in a shelter briefly, and the people were just warm and wonderful and grateful and wonderful. This year in March, I was in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and we brought a letter of apology, which citizens have done before. We can't get our government to apologize, but we brought a letter of apology for what the US did in 1945 to level Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And then we also met with a lot of Habakasha, again, treated like royalty. The way they are so gracious. And as you're saying, and I agree, this is my strength. This is the only place I get hope, because so much of my life I now find it so extraordinarily hard to have any hope. But being with you, being with them, being in Japan, or being at the border, or being in the Holy Land, meeting these wonderful, wonderful people that we don't really hear about in our media. God forbid we should know that these people are like all the best of humanity. That's really what this is all about, and I am so grateful that I was able to be part of at least today for this walk. You know, I'm not part of the whole walk, it's just today. But what a gift, what a wonderful gift, and what a gift all of you are, especially those of you who are doing the whole walk. That just amazes me. It's just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I thank you all, and we've got to remember, keep remembering those wonderful people worldwide, whether it's Japan or the Holy Land, the desecrated land as far as I'm concerned, the border. We've just got to keep remembering that they're the people that we're doing this for.
My name is Sally Jones. I'm from Staten Island. And the other day I was with a group of young people. We were marching around the Staten Island Museum, which is now the Ferry Hawks, because the Ferry Hawks had invited the Israeli national baseball team to come and play. And there's something happening on Staten Island. That's why I just thought I could share, because I got so much from today and heard so much from all of you. Learned so much with everybody I talked to. You might not know too much about Staten Island, so let me share a little bit about Staten Island with you. Well, one of the chants they're young organizers in Staten Island, and we have a Staten Island for Palestine coalition, and they've been doing all kinds of things. They've been dropping banners, they've been helping the Wagner High School students walk out of class in support of the Palestinians. They were up at the College of Staten Island supporting the students who walked out of graduation when the riot police, the first time I have seen riot police. I have been protesting against the Iraq War for, since 2002. First time they had riot police, because the issue is the Palestinians. But one of the chants that the young people do, which I feel strongly about, because we know Palestinians, they're our neighbors. We know, we live in this, we're so lucky that we actually connect to people who, their families are going through this, so we can get it. You know, it's hard for people to get what is happening to families in Gaza and in the West Bank. But when your friend tells you that, when your neighbor tells you that, it hits you. So the chant is, in our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians. And that, I chant, has connected us. In our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians. And I feel like I'm a Staten Islander, you know, I relate to that. I relate to, because my neighbor is a Palestinian. My, over the years I've met people who live in Staten Island who are from Bangladesh, from Pakistan, from Egypt, from all over the place. They're my friends, and they are so hurt, and it's hurting me, because
it's really, really, really tricky times, and our language, there's so much black magic in it. And it meaning that our language is meant to obscure our hearts. And I want to be careful about when we speak about things like thinking that people coming into the country, that we're not being invaded, that we're, that's nonsense. I think wars and rumors of wars is a good way of looking at things. And to not let it become this divisive, this divisive point from which we cut off. That's nonsense. But actually, just consider that all of it's happening. You're right, but if you don't take into account that that's happening as well, well, because we're in a time of contraction, right? And if we are going to set up all the nuclear weapons that we have made and secured all this time and insecured all this time, then the metrics of World War will have to change, and that's what we're seeing. So it's really important for us to not cut ourselves off from any aspect of the truth, however uncomfortable it is. We just still have to work through it. And that's the hardest thing for me. But because it brings us to division too quickly. And there's too much that we have to just stay just razor focused on. So thank you, that's all.
No, that's very important. Thank you. Our job, everyone here, I don't have to tell anyone in this room that I know about peacemaking and about the work of peace. I know everyone here has been at it for decades. And I think we're facing another really kind of darkening time with a lot of division being thrown at us. This peace walk, we got a lot of names calling, a lot of divisive stuff, but it's calling us to use all the tools that we have gained through the years to keep to that center of light within us. And you're right, when the division is thrown at us, to remember that unity that we feel here. Feel your smiles as we go into this darkness. So yeah, that's my job. My job is to make sure when hate is thrown our way, my way, that I don't rise to or lower myself to the level of hate. My job, me, Anthony, is to challenge myself to raise myself up to my preach about love and community. Now as I'm being challenged, we're all being challenged about all I talk about love and community and being together and respecting each other. Well, this is the time that we really have to do this work, and you all doing it. So, brother, yeah.
Hi, Marshall Douglas from Uptown for Palestine. We invite everybody to come work with us 5 o'clock to 6:30 every Monday on 181st Street, just around the corner from here. I think we need to have some ammunition, intellectual ammunition, to speak to people who don't understand what we're doing. Here's just a little set of facts. The Jewish population of Palestine around 1900 was 4%. I'm not going to give you the exact dates and years and exact amounts, but when the Balfour Declaration was signed, a war saying that Palestine was going to be set up as a homeland for the Jewish people, which could have been done in a decent way. The Jewish population of Palestine was about 17%. In 1948, when the partition plan was approved to divide Palestine in half, the Jewish population was approximately a third, and they got half the land, and it was the better land. So I could go on with statistics like that, but what I want to talk to you about is something on a more personal level. I've spent time in occupied Palestine, and I consider all of Israel occupied Palestine, by the way. But I spent the time there with my father-in-law, helping to take care of him. And we met some Palestinian people along the way, and I want to talk to you a little bit about some little vignettes here. So we met this family, particularly the mother of the family. She was a lawyer. We invited her to my father-in-law's house, and she came, and when she came to the door, she asked for a cloth and a basin of water. And I said, "What's going on here?" We gave her a basin of water and a cloth, and she proceeded to wash my father-in-law's feet. Now, I don't know if you understand what the meaning of that is, like the Pope washes people's feet. It's an act of deference to do that for someone. And before she said a word other than that, she washed my father-in-law's feet. Another vignette. Okay. We met a family and they invited us to their house. And they had a backyard. And we were invited to have a meal with them. And there was a table and they brought out, all this food on the table. And I said, oh, wonderful, there's a buffet, but we will stand around and we'll eat the food. So as people gathered around, they brought 2 chairs for my wife and I and said that the meal was for us. And they stood around and we talked and ate, but they didn't eat. They did it as an act of deference to us. When people talk about how sweet the Palestinian people are, understand that they are very sweet, loving people, and they endear themselves to you if you eat them.
My name is Sally Campbell. I'm a Quaker, and I go to Morningside meeting at Riverside Church. And this song I co-wrote with A.J. Musty, which is always a good person to know about. He said, there is no way to peace. Peace is the way. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way. Peace is the way. There is no way to love. Love is the way. Love is the way. If you would find a land where love and peace abide, look in the eyes, listen to the voice of the folks that are by your side. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way to love. There is no way to love. Love is the way that leads us now to peace.
I'm not sure how the police on the bridge are a little different, and they usually do not allow demonstrations. We're not a demonstration, we're peace walkers, but they usually don't like banners and flags and things like that. So let's just keep walking. We're harmless, we're not going to try to block everything. All right, fan, you can use a fan. So what else about the bridge? It takes about 50 minutes. Follow the leader. We're going to go down 1 block, take a right, and we're going to go right on the pathway for those coming with us. For those leaving here, just thank you very much for coming. The subway is right on the corner here, the A train. What else? So just stay in line. We're going to meet at the Fort Lee. It gets a little tricky. There's some construction on the other side of the bridge. Just follow us. We may have to get around the construction and go into the park. The facilities in the park are closed today. It's important, by the way, that we stay together. If you feel like you can't walk and keep a decent pace across the park, we ask you to get in the van on this side, and maybe the van can drive you over to Fort Lee Park. Bring some water. It's still hot out there. Make sure you hydrate before you leave this church. There is a water fountain down here. Please go to the bathroom now if you need to go to the bathroom. Is there any other questions about this walk across the bridge? When we get over there, we're going to have a little roundup, and I'll show those who want to catch the bus with me how to get back to the city. Every 10 minutes a van or a bus comes, about $2. So that's easy. Take us back right here to the GW Bridge. So are we all clear about that? And I want to thank this church. Every time we go to thank the ministers that are around her. But thank this space for, like I think it was mentioned, the gift and the sacredness and the holiness is really all the things that happen along the way of this march, all the gifts that we're given freely, like the use of this beautiful space. How wonderful. Right where we have to go. And
I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down by the riverside. I'm gonna study the war no more. I ain't gonna study 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 war no more. I'm gonna walk with the vets of peace down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna walk with the vets of peace down by the riverside. I'm gonna study war no more. I ain't 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 gonna study war no more. We're gonna walk with Dr. King down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. We're gonna walk with Dr. King down by the riverside. We're gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. Ain't gonna study war no more. We're gonna sing with Brendan May down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. We're gonna sing to Heather down by the riverside. Study war no more. We ain't gonna 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 study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. I ain't gonna study war no more. And I'm not taking W brings toll.